Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. Welcome back. It's time for your favorite part of the day. One-to-one with me and AI. Or rather, with AI, because that's me. The question is, how cheesy can I be all at once? And the answer is maximum. To do a quick recap of today, we started off with opening remarks by the Data Octagon host. That's me. Not much to say about that. However, there was a lot of people that watched Chairman Henrik Göthberg's opening remarks. Top tier. Kai Andersson's interview with Carl-Henrik Svanberg. Top tier again. And we had some keynotes. And then straight to the panel. Let's see. That panel was navigating current challenges to unlock enterprise value. You know, these discussions tend to be, we start off with questions that are the kinds that readers send in, and they're always very, I wouldn't say average, but they're sort of the combination of what a lot of people are thinking about. And I guess the thing is that a lot of people think that they're facing these problems on their own. One of the things that I've been doing together with the organizers of this conference this year is traveling to many of the countries in Europe, Germany, the Nordics, and other places, holding these conferences with about 33 key decision makers at companies in those countries, all sort of data or AI decision makers. And the main value of those conferences, TPO 33 as we call them, has been to show people that they're not facing these challenges alone. So what we've been trying to do in these panels, you know, even though I have a lot of questions that I should be asking them, I want to have sort of a dialogue to get the temperature of things and see where people's mindset is and get applied. It's very easy to fall into the sort of dialogue of technobabble terminology and that kind of thing. But I think what everybody wants that's watching here is to have the rubber hit the ground when it comes to generative AI. I guess the sentiment, let's see, we had another one, modern data strategies, data-driven insights, and as strategies for effective data engineering. I really like this last one because, you know, we were talking, everybody here at the table, I know them personally, and they're good engineers. They really have their hands on in the stuff, and it's not like we don't have a sense of that these other things like business and ethics and everything are important, but there is a sense of it's time to actually build things. And I know there are a lot of companies that I'm working with now that are wondering whether they should hold off for half a year, for a year, until the tooling becomes more mature. But what you heard in this last panel specifically, which I really think echoes the sentiment that I've been sort of picking up as I am with customers, there's a kind of learning in the exercise that is hard to pick up unless you just jump in the deep end of the pool. It is the learnings that do overlap with a lot of software engineering best principles, but apply to the tooling that's specific to LLMs. So, you know, all the stuff that you already know about, understanding the life cycle of a component, whether that component is code itself, or data, or the way an LLM acts over time. The principles are the same, but the specific tooling that you would be using to track an LLM over time as it changes, who owns it, updates to the weights, all these kind of things, those are specific to the LLM. And, you know, especially if you have a team that is good enough to be dangerous, but not necessarily experienced in all of these best practices from, you know, decades of software engineering best practices, this is the stuff that your technical team has to learn. It's not very difficult to glue together a script of Python that can do tremendous amounts of things. But these software engineering principles are quite sophisticated and robust and proven and that kind of stuff. And you just need to take the time to learn them, pick them up, put them into practice, and so forth. And the same thing goes for the business side. The business side needs to learn how to put their requirements in such a way that the technology team can implement them correctly on the first try, and that's not going to happen. That also takes practice. Needs to have experience managing a product, the expectations of other customers, whether they're internal customers, business customers, or external customers. That's also experience that you need to build up over time. And a lot of times, that responsibility is just thrown onto somebody that is the most enthusiastic. But really, it needs to be a role in the company, whether you are called an AI product manager or something like that. Not super important. And obviously, you know, within half a decade or a decade, just like we don't have internet managers at companies nowadays, we're not going to have AI product managers. But for the time being, as long as this stuff is really frontier, giving you a super big competitive advantage compared to everybody else that's not doing this kind of stuff, it does make sense to have AI product managers. It does make sense to start working on these things, even though they're difficult, even though the value is, I'm not going to say not there. It should be there. It should always be there. And it should always pay for itself. But maybe not astronomical, because you can build it piece by piece. And that was another learning from one of the panels earlier today. There have to be minimum viable products that you can build from 1 to 3 months. You can't build a platform for 3 years and then expect the value to come afterwards. So 1 to 3 months, practice in the tech team, practice in the business team, and what else? What's coming? Man, AI is not going to slow down. You think it's crazy now? You guys, maybe you didn't see my session at 12 o'clock. It was good. I was just showing how you could use AI with images and text and music and everything. And man, AI is just so creative now, and that is today. Imagine what it's going to be like in just a year from now, half a year from now. I'm excited. I hope you are too. That's all we have for day one here at Data Innovation Summit. In about 5 minutes, we're going to have closing remarks on the main stage from Henrik Göthberg. Stay tuned, listen to it, and hope to see you here maybe tomorrow. Otherwise, digitally, see you around.